Well, again, welcome. Thanks for coming out on a rainy day and election day. Don't forget to vote. We are your PERT team. PERT is Preschool Intervention and Referral Team. There is a little paper in your folder that explains who we are and what we do, but we'll start with Nicole.
Good morning, my name is Nicole Edwards and I'm the speech language pathologist on the PERT team. You'll see me here at PECEC. I'm also at Fort Dix Elementary and Fort Dix CDC, as well as Yellow Ball Drop and Go. So welcome.
I'm Teresa Hurley and I work specifically here in this building with teachers in classrooms in this building, and I'm also do Yellow Drop and Go too. So I see you there.
Hi, I'm Kelly Barton. I'm also with the Preschool Intervention and Referral Team. I work at this school. I have some classes at this school and also all of the classes at this elementary school, supporting all of our general education students. You'll also see me in the green hallway at Drop and Go time.
Yeah. I'm Elaine Podolak, also at Green Hallway, also here at Early Childhood Center, and I go to the Fort Dix CDC. Anyone here from Fort Dix Elementary or CDC? Fort Dix Elementary, thanks for coming. Yeah. Great. Yeah, because we send those notices out to everybody. All right, good. So today we're hoping to address some of your concerns regarding challenging behaviors at home. Just show of hands. Anybody have any challenging behaviors at home? Two hands. Two hands. All right. Yep. You can see you're not alone. Anybody want to share some of your challenges with us? Nicole, do you want to get us started?
Oh, sure.
Nicole always has challenges.
Yeah, let's see. You want to start with a 10-year-old or 4-year-old? So my 4-year-old loves to sleep in. He has it confused. He thinks he's a teenager now. So waking him up in the morning can be sometimes a challenge, and he will tell me, "Could you stop waking me up? I'm trying to sleep." So that's a challenge for us because their school starts at 7:30 in the morning, and then I have to be here by 8:30. So, you know, I'm constantly peeking out of the bathroom. Get up, get up, get up. You know, I sound like the broken record. Wake up. I'm not going to tell you anymore. I'm going to count to 5. You're still not moving. You know, so that's a challenge that I have in the morning for sure.
Children can be challenging. It's how we address those challenges that makes a difference. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about how we might prevent those challenges from happening in the first place. One of the biggest things you can do is allow your children to make choices. Not the big important choices, but what we call child-sized choices. So, you know, think about, in school there's choices all the time, so think about why that might be a good idea. Why is it good for the child to make child-sized choices?
Because it makes them feel like they're making part of the decision.
Yes. And it takes away some of that power struggle that you're having with the nose. So what is a child-sized choice? It might be what to play with. It might be
When they come to mealtime?
Yeah, where to sit. You know, like where to sit. Like we have them here. We have our family-style lunch. They can sit wherever they want. So that's a time when they can make a choice. It might be which book they want to read. You know, what toy they want to play with. Those are those little choices. It's not big choices. Sometimes the adult has to make that choice. But then we have what we call limited choices. So we'll give the child 2 choices, but they're both okay with us. That might be, which jacket do you want to wear today? Well, I don't want to wear any jacket. Well, do you want the blue jacket or do you want the gray sweatshirt? You got to wear a jacket. Which one do you want to wear? So we made the decision that they have to wear a jacket. They get to choose which one. It's sharing that autonomy with them, that control with them. They need this to help make decisions later in life. So you're actually teaching them a good skill. So give them opportunities to make those child-sized choices. It's time for bed, and they're fighting over going to bed. Well, it is time for bed. We are going to bed. Do you want to walk up by yourself, or do you want to piggyback around? You know, add some little incentive in there.
I always use this one too with my son. You know, he's still like not able to figure out, but I say, you have 2 options. You can pick up your toys or you can put them away. And they'll say, I'm going to put them away. And I'm like, yes. How can you do that?
See, but they think they're making a choice. So now, how about Walking across the street, okay, so you see me outside at the sidewalk. You know, in a parking lot, it's a little dangerous to let a child just kind of like run across by themselves. So you need to hold my hand when we're, you know, crossing the street. Do you want to hold this hand or this hand? You need to hold my hand. You know, or maybe hold on to my jacket. You can hold my jacket or my hand, that kind of a thing.
Or you can hold my hand, or I can hold your backpack if they really don't want to hold your hand.
But again, there's giving them a little sense of control. You know, there's some research that shows one of the effects of offering choices is a reduction in the conflicts between children and adults. So if you find that you, the adult, are constantly having conflicts with your child, start trying to find times when they can make some choices, some child-sized choices. You're teaching them independence, responsibility, all that good stuff. Isn't that cute? Change. There we go. Another way that you can avoid some of those challenging times of the day is following a consistent daily routine. We do here in school. If you've been in the classroom, you've seen the daily routine across the front. It's usually right by their greeting time circle. So they know, you know, first we come in, we have breakfast, we have greetings. Some children have even smaller ones to help them remember on their own. You know, there's greeting time, there's small group, there's large group. They know what's happening for their day. If that day changes, like today, it's a rainy day, they're not going outside. So the teacher will talk about that. It's a rainy day, we won't be going outside. We are going, you know, wherever they go. They go to the gross motor room, they go to the cafeteria.
And she'll talk about it in the morning, before that time of day comes, to prepare them for that change.
To prepare them for that change in their day. Think about yourself. Don't you like to know what's happening with your day? What happens when somebody throws a monkey wrench into your day? You know, you're waiting for a repairman to come and fix the refrigerator, and you've arranged your whole day around being home waiting for this guy, and he calls and cancels. How do you feel? Pretty ticked off, huh? Right? Not only did he mess up your day, and you didn't get to do what you wanted to do, and now the refrigerator's full. All right, so that you know how you feel. Children need to know what's happening during their day. So your routine, especially if you're having trouble in the morning or at night, keep it the same. Do the same kinds of things during the day, same kinds of things at night. There was a child who was having difficulty separating at drop and go early on. And I said to the mom, come up with a nice little routine to say goodbye. You know, what are you going to do? They were, I don't know, giving high fives or fist pumps and hugs and kisses, and then goodbye, I'll come back at the end of the day. And they started doing that routine every day, and boom, no more crying, no more separation anxiety, following that routine. When children are upset in school, the teacher will go to that daily routine and say, this is when we're going to see mommy at the end of the day. The teacher will point to, you know, right now it's lunchtime, then we'll have rest, then we'll have snack, and then you'll get to see mommy. It helps bring some sense of relief to them, knowing what's expected ahead of time. So now, I know your routines aren't always going to be the same. Weekends are going to be different than weekdays. There's going to be changes. Somebody said something about, we had a crazy day last night and we had to order takeout. I know you've got other kids with, you know, soccer games and baseball games and all that stuff. When there's going to be a change, let them know. You know, today, you know, we're going to eat it, you know, late tonight because, you know, Johnny has a football game, you know, or mommy has to go to the store, I'm not going to get home, daddy's going to put you to bed. If that's a change for the kid, it's going to like throw them for a loop. Let them know. Or grandma's coming to have dinner with you tonight. Whatever's going to happen that's different, prepare your child ahead of time. You're less likely to have those challenges. Make sense? I see a lot of nodding and nodding. So think about, oh, see, and I got to talking and doing such a thing. So children as well as adults benefit from predictable daily schedule at work, at school, at home. Helps them feel secure, and it helps them able to regulate their own behavior. You're teaching self-regulation. And that comes later with when you get angry, it's okay to be angry, but what do I do when I'm need to get control of myself. So choices help with control, and schedule self-control. All right, so think about your home, and you've already talked about some difficult times during your routine. We have, oh yeah, let's show this. So you've seen the daily routine that tells the parts of the day. There are some children that need a part of that routine broken up into little pieces. So when they come in the morning, the kids are responsible for hanging up their jackets, emptying their backpack, washing their hands, and then they go to the table to eat. Some of them have breakfast, some of them don't, and they just go to another table. So we make these little mini schedules for children who have trouble with that part of the routine. So helps them become a little more independent with that routine. What do I have to do first? They look at the picture. Oh, I have to hang up my jacket. Oh, then I have to take care of my backpack. Oh, then I have to wash my hands. So then they know. So think about your home. What's giving you trouble? What part of your day, whether it's leaving in the morning or going to bed at night, and we have a fun little activity for you. In your folder, you'll find some little cutouts. Here on the right side in the back. I'm going to take those out. And then in the baskets in the table are what we call little strips. We call them set strips. Think about your routine. Hopefully we included pictures that you might need. There's some blanks if you want to draw a little picture. And kids don't care if you can't draw. Stick figures are fine. What would you like your children to be able to do? What's, if it's leaving in the morning, what is your routine? Do they get up, get dressed, eat breakfast, brush teeth, and get ready to go? What's your routine? Or at nighttime, is it, dinner, bath, PJs, story, bed? Whatever it is. Think about what you would like to happen for that consistent routine to help them get through those difficult times. And we're going to do a little cutting and pasting for those. All right, so you've got some choices that you're making. You've got a routine that you're sticking to. Sometimes children need limits. Sometimes you need to set limits for children. But they should be a reasonable balance between what you want and what they want. One of the things we use is first then. I heard some talk about that. Yeah. They call that the grandma principle. Because grandma always says, first eat your vegetables, then you get dessert. Right? First vegetables, then dessert. So it's first you do what I want you to do, then you get to do what you want. And that works, it works terrifically with our kids here. First, clean up your toys, and then we'll go outside.
If it's a new principle and it's something you've been having difficulty with, you may have to make that then kind of really exciting in the beginning, just to get them in the habit of the first then.
Yeah.
So that might help to get that first done.
Because in their mind, they think it's never going to happen. I'm never going to go outside, or I'm never going to do dessert. So if you say first this, then something else. Oh, another little thing, this isn't our thing, but this works terrifically. And I have 6 grandkids, and I told my daughters-in-law, when you're trying to ask them if they did something naughty, did you hit your brother? No, I didn't hit my brother. Did you do it a little bit? A little bit. A little bit gives them permission. It's like it's not so bad. Yeah, I did a little bit. Oh, okay. Yeah. Then we're gonna move on and solve that, but that comes later. Anyway, so limits. Sometimes the adult needs to take charge. Again, with the parking lot, I need you to hold my hand. You need to be safe. So adults need to make limits when it's the child's health or safety. No, you can't eat ice cream and chocolate bars for dinner. Health and safety reasons. No, we say first we eat the growing food and then you get the dessert. Make them positive language. Instead of a negative language, don't focus on what they can't do, focus on what they can do.
First get into your car seat, then I will give you your toy.
Yes, there you
Yes.
go.
First get into your car seat, then I will give you your toy.
Instead of,
No, you can't sit with the seat.
right,
No,
or
you
stop,
can't.
stop, doing this. You want to use a positive way to tell them what you want them to do.
No, you can't have that toy, but yes, you can. First get in the car seat, then you can.
Okay, so in school, you might have seen some of these rules and expectations in the classroom. If you've been in the classroom, you'll see these little signs, and most of them look like this. They say, I take care of myself, we take care of each other, or some of them say we take care of others, and we take care of my school. Every behavior in the classroom can relate back to that. And it's said in a positive way, very simple. There you go, little stick figures, but the kids know.
So let's give you an example. Someone's kicking. How do you relate that back to the behaviors?
Which one do you think it applies to?
Someone's kicking another child.
Take care of each other.
We take care of each other, so we don't kick.
Someone's running in the classroom. What does that go back to? Take care of myself. You have to be
Because when
safe.
we run, we sometimes fall down.
There's toys all over the floor and we want to get them picked up. Yeah.
So everything that we ask for them to do relates back to these three basic expectations. Teachers talk about them all the time. It, again, takes the nagging away from the adult, and it's about the rules. It's not about you. You're not a bad child. It's, oh, we have to follow the rules at school. So again, think about your home. What kind of rules can you have at home? I think in your folder, can I hold this up a second?
I got it.
There's something that looks like this. I wonder if that might help you in your home.
There's two, it's the same thing.
I take care of
It cuts them
myself.
apart.
We take care of our family, whatever your family consists of. All families are different. And we take care of our home. So cleaning up toys, taking care of your home. Taking care of your family. Being kind to your brothers and sisters is taking care of your family. Brushing your teeth. Going to bed and getting rest is taking care of yourself. So make it about the rules instead of about the child or a battle between the adult and the child. We gave you 2 copies, so you can, one upstairs and one downstairs.
One in the bathroom.
Yeah. Rules and expectations. Okay, here's some cute little classroom rules. Looking eyes, looking ears, quiet mouth, helping hands, walking feet, I sit on my bottom. What doesn't it say? No. It doesn't say no. It doesn't say don't. It doesn't say no talking. It doesn't say stop. It doesn't say no running. Instead of no running, it says walking feet. So there's classroom rules. Uh-oh. Wait, okay. Sometimes there's outside rules. We say up the ladder, down the slide. So we don't say don't walk up the slide. We don't say don't crash into each other. Instead, we word it in a positive way. Up the ladder, down the slide, ride your bike safely.
So these are generally in addition to those expectations that we showed you
A little more
before.
specific.
Right, so sometimes you'll have those general expectations, but you'll know that there's a certain part of the day where you need to get a little more specific about what the rules are, like, maybe in a certain area of the house or when you go outside.
There we go.
Okay.
Book area, there might be rules about how we handle books. And again, it's not saying don't throw books on the floor, it's saying hold books safely in your hands. Lunchtime rules, what they might need to do. Again, worded positively, simply stated, telling them what they can do, not what they can't do.
I noticed that works for me a lot right before we enter Walmart or Target, because, you know, my son has a plan in his mind that he's gonna buy this toy and that toy and then, so I kind of just say, this is what we need to find. We need to find laundry detergent, we need to find paper towels, we're going to go buy this, you know, we're gonna go buy that, and he'll say, and I'm like, I need your help, I need you to remind me of all those things we need to, or what we're going to do, you know? And the first time I tried it, I was waiting, passing by the toy aisle, like, oh, here we go. But, you know, he said to me, he says, oh, we don't need that today. I said, right, we don't need that today. What do we need? He's like, oh, we need laundry detergent, and I spell. So, it does work.
It does. When my children were little, I would give them a little list of their own.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you take multiple children, give them separate things on the list, and they're in charge of finding different things. Or if you're a coupon cutter, give them the coupons to look for those items. You know, it gives them something to do.
So now when the teachers create these rules, and back again, if you're looking at rules in the classroom, they do it with the children. They ask the children, what should we do if it's rules about the book area? What should we do with the books? You know, what are our rules? And together, the teacher and the children come up with the rules. And if the kids say, well, don't throw them on the floor, the teacher rewords it and says, oh, you mean we have to hold books in our hands? So then that becomes the rule. So it takes the adult to reword it, but you don't discount what the child says. So,
And they become vested then.
yes.
You making them part of it, and they become vested in the rules, and this is what they're helping to decide.
So we're giving you a paper that you can take home and together with your child or children, develop some home rules. You know, and think about where it's a problem. You know, is dinner time a problem? Or, you know, after school when they come home, or I know for my son, it's after dinner. It's a wild and crazy time. It's like they get like buzzed after dinner, and it's woo! So, you know, come up with some rules. After dinner, we, you know, help clean up, we, you know, read books, and we play a game, and then we get ready for bed, something like that. Because otherwise, they're like jumping on the furniture and running around and doing laps.
Not every time of the day needs to have its own set of rules, but
Think
you'll
about
know.
what's a problem.
You'll know when what's a problem.
When all of those things that we just talked about to prevent those challenges don't work, and there's going to be plenty of times that they don't work. We do all of this in all of our classrooms, and we can't tell you how many challenges we face each day. You know, they're not always going to work. So this is our mantra. That is really the key thing that you can do to bring that problem from up here to down here where it might be solvable. Remaining calm with all of your presence, your voice, your tone, your body language, all of that needs to show the child that you are calm. And the reason for that is if you think about that challenge as a fire starting, you know, your calmness is throwing water on that fire. Your anxiety or your anger or your emotions brought into it is just adding fuel to fan those flames. So it might be hard, you might not be feeling calm, and what we would recommend if you're not feeling calm, take a step back for a minute. Get yourself calm because you don't want it to escalate further. So take a step back, take some deep breaths.
Be the adult.
Yes. Yeah, remember that you are the adult and this is a 3 or a 4-year-old. So we understand that the emotions that, you know, can come when you see some of these challenges, just remember that this is really important. You know, sometimes it takes tag teaming with other family members. You know, right now, I'm too emotional, I'm too, you know, upset about this. Hand it off to somebody else to deal with, somebody who can be calm at that moment.
It works with teenagers too.
Yeah.
And 20-year-olds.
Remaining calm.
Remember that you're the model for your children. So if their emotions are up here and they see your emotions are up there too, that's not going to help diffuse the situation. So be that kind of model what you want to see from them in your behaviors and your emotions. So the next thing that you want to do is to support problem solving. So we don't want to do that only in the moment of a behavioral challenge. We want to start giving children those valuable lessons of how to solve problems when they're not in the midst of an emotional, crisis. So we want to support them by pointing out problems throughout the day that they are solving. Or pointing out things that could become problems. If you squeeze real hard, the mustard squirts on the table instead of on the hot dog. Just simple little things. To resolve problems effectively in the moment of a challenging behavior, children need to learn the skills of problem solving when they're calm. So pointing those things out every day, you can help your child to find solutions and learn that they can be a good problem solver. So that's one of the keys that we want to do throughout the day, so that when you get in that moment, you can remind them that you know how to figure this out. We can figure this out together because you solved that other problem earlier, remember? So, of course, when you're in the midst of a challenge, the first thing that we need to do is stop any hurtful behavior. So, if it's a problem between two of your children and one is kicking or hitting or pulling someone's hair, that needs to stop first. And we do that, again, by not yelling, by remaining calm, just saying, hitting stops. I know you are really upset, but it is not okay to hit. That's how we stop the behavior. If you need to, physically hug them or hold them in your arms, you need to stop that hurtful behavior before you can get on to solving the problem that caused it. So again, in the midst of a crisis, you need to remember that you're the example for your children. Let them see the way you react and try to react the way you want them to react with that calmness. They'll model after you. Think about yourself. If you try to solve a problem when you're really, really angry, you're having an argument with a spouse or a friend or another adult, and you're at the point of being really, really angry, are you able to usually effectively solve that problem? Usually our emotions make it really difficult to solve a problem, and then we can come back maybe later when we're calm and talk about it and usually have a better outcome than if we try to solve problems when we're all the way up here emotion-wise. So think about your kids are the same way. If they're in the midst of having one of those emotional meltdowns, they're not going to be likely to succeed in being able to solve a problem at that time. So we remind you to remain calm, and then we need to give them some time to calm down before we talk about the problem. We have a calm down area in a lot of our classrooms, and we're not talking about a timeout. We're talking about just a place where you need to just calm your body. This is teaching them that self-regulation that we talked about. We can give them some suggestions, some deep breaths. Getting a drink of water sometimes is enough. Sometimes it just takes a distraction to kind of bring the emotions down. A stuffed animal to squeeze, something to the point where they can calm themselves. And then we wait and we ask them, are you ready now? Are you feeling calmer? Are you ready to talk about what just happened? So, now, when your child starts exhibiting a challenging behavior, the first thing you need to do is approach calmly. We talked about that. The second thing is you have to find out what the problem is. Don't assume that you know what the problem is, because sometimes these little minds are off in a totally different direction than what we think they are. So, for example, you know, your child is not moving fast in the morning. Normally they get ready for school without a problem. Today they're really slow, they're crying a lot, they're just not following the directions and things like that. And you think they don't want to go to school today, or you think, well, maybe they're not feeling well. You know, you think a lot of things, but when you ask them, the problem is it was a crazy hat day and they don't have a crazy hat to wear. You know, that's what they're thinking in their head. So you need to first find out what the problem is. The next thing we ask you to do, and this goes a long way to diffusing those problems, is acknowledging your child's feelings. It's important to remember that your child needs to know that all emotions are acceptable, all behaviors are not. So you want to acknowledge those emotions. It's okay to feel angry or sad or frustrated. Those are all great emotions. I feel them all the time. Let them know when you felt angry, when you felt frustrated. Acknowledge those feelings. Sorry. And you know, let them know that the emotion is okay. So here's an example. Your child throws his boot across the room when he's getting ready in the morning. What's your reaction?
Why did you do that?
Sometimes 3- and 4-year-olds have a hard time with the why questions. They know what they're feeling, but they have a hard time answering a why question. So sometimes it's up to us to kind of draw it out of them. Go ahead, did you want to say something?
A lot of times when my daughter do that in the morning, I ask her what's wrong, or what she needs. Because sometimes she don't want to put them shoes on. I pick her shoes out. I'll take all her shoes out and ask her to go pick whatever shoes she wants.
Yeah, that might be
Is that
giving
choice?
them that choice.
When you pick different shoes
And
be a whole
asking it in
different
that way, instead of why did you do it, what do you need? Or how can I help you? You look frustrated, or you look angry. You know, can you tell me what the problem is? So in this particular situation, we're assuming that the person had been watching and seeing that the child was trying to tie and couldn't tie, so that's when it went sailing across. So again, you let them know that the emotion is okay. It's hard to get your boots on when your hands are still small. It makes you mad when you try really hard and it doesn't work. And validate that those emotions are okay. It's okay to feel those emotions. You can add in there, but throwing boots is not safe. Somebody could get hurt.
Sometimes that's all you have to do is recognize the emotion. And
Yep.
after you say what the emotion is, then you stop there. It's like, somebody noticed me.
Yeah, exactly, and that can diffuse the situation right
All
there.
they wanted is for you to know that they're angry.
And to know that you're there to support them. It looks like you're really frustrated getting those boots on. How can I help you? You know, just giving them that support. So then you're take it a step further. You're in that problem-solving phase now. They're calmed down. You gave them that time to calm down. You've acknowledged their feelings. You're looking really upset. You're looking really angry. How can we solve this problem? How can I help you solve this problem? So you want to, again, have them have a vested interest in the solution. So you want to take their ideas. And even if you know they're not going to work, if you can, if it's not something that is going to make the situation worse, try out their ideas. Let them know that they're a valued member in this process and that their ideas have credit. That will teach them that they can solve problems. Show respect for their thoughts and efforts. So if you try something that they suggested and it doesn't work, you know, say something like, that was a really good idea. Maybe that would work next time, but this time it didn't work. Let's try something else. You know, and then you can give some ideas and suggestions. If your ideas and your child's ideas clash, then that's when you give those, we talked about those limited choices, giving them some suggestions or ideas that you can both accept and letting them choose.
Or if it's taking too long.
Mm-hmm.
Or again.
Right, Right, so if your objective is to go outside and they're trying to zip their coat and they can't, there are times when we want to give them that confidence to solve that problem themselves, and there are times when, you know, we just need to get outside. So in that situation, we might say, you're trying really hard, I see you're getting frustrated, can I help you zip your coat? And maybe you just start it, and then they can do the rest, so that they still have that feeling of independence. Don't always try to fix a problem for your child. Let them be part of that process of learning how to do things instead of having you fix it. They need to learn that they are an important part of this whole process of solving problems that arise. And so these are our problem-solving steps that we kind of go through with our children here at school. We teach them these steps to think when a problem arises, and you should have this in your, do they have this?
Yes, they do.
Okay. To think about, what is my problem?
This one.
Oh, they have.
Oh, they have that one, okay. I think of some solutions. And then I think about what would happen if I tried one of those solutions. Would it be safe? Would it be fair? How would everyone feel? And then I give it a try. So you can talk them through this process of solving a problem until they're ready to do that part on their own.
Basically stop, think, give it a try.
Yep. All right.
Oh, I wanted to say, it sounds like a lot of work. It is well
Yes.
worth the time and effort to put into it. Our classroom teachers do a lot of problem solving in a much deeper way. We have 6 steps to come with resolution, which I need to know about it. It helps. You work really hard all of September and October, and by January, the kids are solving their own problems.
And then when the 3-year-olds turn 4 and they come back the next year, they're helping the 3-year-olds that are coming in.
It
And
is
they're
so
modeling it and showing
worth
how to
the
do
time
it.
and effort that you put
Yes.
into it.
Right, because then they're not going to come to you every time there's a simple problem that they're learning how to solve on their own.
Okay, and these are just gonna be some tips that you should be thinking about while your child is going through the process of solving their problems, things that you can do to help make the process a little bit easier, is to remind them of other times when they solved a similar problem. Like I know that this was something that was big in my household when my son was 3, and he was learning how to zip up his coat. That's a skill that you know they're not gonna get on the first try, second try, third try. And then you see that frustration build, and then they just don't want to do it at all. They're like, no, I'm going to walk outside with my coat wide open. So reminding him of,
And sometimes that's a solution.
and sometimes that's a solution, yeah. But it helped to remind him of the fact that he had a toy that he was able to do that with. He was able to zip up and down, and I could see him like calming down, not getting as frustrated, and also trying to do it a little bit longer. Like that's the key, like trying to give him a little bit more opportunity to try it, you know, so that he can practice it and feel successful. So remember telling them, like, remember you put the marker cap on, you know, just yesterday? Maybe you can try to twist off the toothpaste cap, or, you know, something that would apply. Just remind them that they were capable of being a successful problem solver. You want to watch for those signs of becoming discouraged or frustrated, because we all know if there's something that you don't enjoy doing, what are you going to do? You're going to try to avoid it, you know. So you want to watch for those signs. So when you see that they're getting angry or frustrated, you step in and you do offer help. I'll start it. I'll start the bottom of the zipper. Let me see if you can pull it up to your neck. Okay. Or letting them know that they do have options. Like sometimes you can talk and make it relatable. Say, oh, I remember I had a hard time doing this, and this, I had to do something different. So sometimes when I have trouble attaching things with stapler, I might use a paper clip. You're just offering them and letting them see that you too have those problems and difficulties and how you go about solving them. Okay. Plan ahead for the extra time it'll take for your child to solve a problem. And this is sort of difficult because in this day and age, everybody's on the go constantly, you know. So if I know in my house we worked on fastening seat belts, so that's not something I'm gonna try to attempt to do as we're going out in the morning. you know, during the weekday. So I may keep that for like a Saturday, or, you know, for a time when I know we're not rushing to get to a place or to do something. And that way you get to enjoy and relax too. I know, like, when children are 3 and 4, it's always like, I can do it, I want to do it, I want to do it, let me do it. And you see them struggling, and you're like, like you see the school buses coming, and you get stuck behind the school bus. You know, so this time is really important because it allows you to take it all in, and you're not worried about the next step that you have to do. Okay. You're going to offer also chunking. You know, as a speech language pathologist, I wouldn't be doing just if I didn't say it's important. 3 and 4-year-olds, they have a hard time like following big long directions. You know, so chunking that information is so important. Like, first, let's pull on the seatbelt. Second, let's put it around our bodies. You know, you make the steps smaller so they're more likely to be successful. And also anticipate and avoid those triggers. I was talking about this yesterday, being that the holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving. So you know, like if you worked all day, you know you're tired, you know you're not going to go to ShopRite the day before Thanksgiving, right? You're going to avoid that at all costs. So, but we have to think about the children too. You know, I know sometimes you have to rush out and go to the grocery store like after your day, but are they well rested? You know, are they tired? Are they cranky? Have they eaten yet? You know, those big triggers can affect how you're going to get through your day. Okay. Also, too, are you engaged with something that interests them? Like, do you have like little trinkets or toys or something that they can hold and entertain themselves to help avoid the triggers? And also, are they involved, like shopping? Like, you know, you're going to remind mommy, I need milk and I need paper towels. Like, you know, and that keeps them busy and distracted. And also, after we pick up these 3 items, then we're going to go to home, or next we have to go pick up Jimmy from football practice, or whatever the case may be. Understand and accept their feelings. So you're going to emphasize that it's the behavior, it's not them that is the problem, or the fact that they're feeling that way. You can be angry, you can be mad, but it's what you do or you don't do with that feeling. I understand you want candy, but we're going home for lunch now. It's okay to feel hungry and unhappy, but it's not okay to kick the butt. So just letting them know, and you're also labeling, giving them those emotions, and letting them know what they're feeling at the moment.
When you read books and stuff, make sure like to label the feelings of books and things like that. Give them names: frustrated, angry, mad, worried, anxious. Recognize them in other people too around you. Like, give the feelings names and labels. On TV, when their characters on TV are having different emotions, label those too.
And sometimes you'll see kids too, you know, like if you're talking, like you're on hold and you're like, oh, I'm annoyed, you know, this person's doing something or another. And then maybe a few weeks later something else happens, and sometimes the kids will be like, are you annoyed? You know, are you upset? You know, they'll start to
exasperated.
Right. They'll
start using those big words.
Right. So this is a book that we use in our classrooms to help children figure out and how to problem solve and what to do with their emotions when they're feeling angry and upset. So I'm going to read to you a version of our Tucker Turtle, and I think we do have a puppet here.
Yep.
Saw that. All right, Tucker Turtle takes time to tuck and think. All right, Tucker Turtle is a terrific turtle. He likes to play with his friends at Wet Lake School. But sometimes things happen that can make Tucker really mad. When Tucker got mad...
Right on cue.
I have to pay her afterwards. When Tucker got mad, he used to hit, kick, or yell at his friends. His friends would get mad or upset when he hit, kicked, or yelled at them. Tucker now knows a new way to think like a turtle when he gets mad. Is that what he can stop and keep his hands, body, and yelling to himself. He can tuck inside his shell and take 3 deep breaths to calm down.
What do we have them do with it?
Tucker can then think of a solution or a way to make it better. So what can I do besides kicking and hitting and yelling. Tucker's friends are happy when he plays nicely and keeps his body to himself. Friends also like it when Tucker uses nice words or has a teacher help him when he is upset. Okay, so we gave something for them to help regulate their body, and also too, if they need to bring an adult in to kind of help with the situation, we've given them an option there too.
So there's lots of stories out there that you can read with your child about expressing emotions in an appropriate way. This is just one example.
So we've talked about how to address a lot of challenging behaviors, but this is another way that you can use to kind of prevent them. Sometimes challenging behaviors are the result of your child seeking attention. Somebody talked about that today. She always wants attention. Yeah, attention. So provide positive attention is one of the things that you can do. Make sure that you take time to talk and listen to your children. You know, play with them. You can play games, pretend, ball. Can you think of anything else you can do with them? Yes, there you go. Look, exactly. It's on here. Chores together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect. Get them involved. They like doing that. Read books. Tell stories. There's some good positive things that you can do. You know, if you're wanting to get some exercise with your children, get involved with you. You know, maybe they'll run around and place with you or do some jumping jacks. Go to interesting places together. There's a lot of free places to go out there, like the library, the park, take walks, a nature walk. You know, go on a hunt for little nature things. Create things together. There's some free things in your home that you can use. Like egg cartons, milk jugs, toilet paper, paper towel rolls.
Empty cereal boxes.
Yeah, old jewelry, food containers, boxes, any of that stuff. Those boxes that come in the mail with things in them, you can give a child a box, they can spend hours with a box. You give them one of their toys, and they're done in 3 seconds. Yeah, there's a box. Yeah, boxes are sometimes more important. You know, there's a lot of technology out there right now. We're using a lot of technology. Be a little wary of screen time and phones. We're noticing that so many children are coming in with limited language. And we're wondering if it's because they're being given like phones and tablets to keep them busy. Children need real life experiences like the things up here for their brain to develop. You know, we all think that like some of those educational games are good, but they don't develop their brains. They just give them some rote practice and skills. They need these things for their brains to develop. They need those real things. Does anybody else have any other ideas like what you could do for positive time with your child? Some other suggestions that we didn't cover here?
Anybody doing anything that?
Last time I do it for the radio release program at the library, and she likes
Okay.
it.
And you have
Every Monday.
we have Thursday afternoons and
And
Friday
the book,
mornings
like the
here.
book club
Book club
here.
here,
Yeah,
the book club here.
We'll have some other things through the year. There's Winter Wonderland. We're coming and do fun activities.
Grandparents' Day is coming, evening is coming up in December, I think.
Family fun days.
Yep, family fun days at the end of the year. Yep.
They just want to be with you. Just want attention.
So just a couple of reminders. Home sweet home. Be consistent. And if you say one day you can't have gummies for breakfast and the next day you give them gummies for breakfast, then they're going to want gummies for breakfast every day. Acknowledge and accept your child's feelings, not necessarily their behavior. We can't talk enough about how acknowledging their feelings goes a long way towards helping them to then calm and solve the problem. Sometimes you just have to just keep acknowledging them over and over again, and then they'll start to calm down. Use the problem-solving process at home. You know, give it a try. It's really important. So this is for you to take home and use. It's got the pictures from the Tuckle Turtle story. You know, recognize that you're angry is the first one. Stop and think. What's the problem? I need to calm down. I'm going to tuck into my shell. Maybe that's a special area in your house where they can do that, or a blanket they can cover up in. And then take deep breaths if they need to. Think calm things. And then when you're ready, come out and let's think of a solution to the problem and give it a try. So use this, you can use this at home if you want, hang it up to help them to calm down. Maybe this will help them. So feel free to use it, you can keep it as it is, you can cut it apart and line it up, or color it in, whatever you think will work. Okay, we also have a couple of other things in here that I wanted to share with you. We have some articles. So on the right side of your folder, there's how to use positive language to improve your child's behavior. So we talked a lot about that today, about using the positive things, the yes things, given the limited choices, and trying not to make it so much about the no things. If you do have to stop some hurtful behaviors, making it about the behavior, not the child. Hitting needs to stop, kicking needs to stop, it's not safe. So that will help. There's another article in here called Teaching Your Child to Cope with Requests. You know, we all have things that they have to do. And they have to brush their teeth. It's not a choice. So how are you going to make that work? And on the other side, so we did review who we are, and so you have a paper in there. So if you have any other questions, all our names are here and our extensions. You can always call and give us a call and ask a question. You need something, some help with something. Leave a message if we're not there. We'll get back to you. And there's a couple of other articles. This one is how to understand the meaning of your child's challenging behavior. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what's going on.
Why are they doing this?
Yeah, it's hard to figure out why, and asking them why doesn't work. You know, you've got to figure out some other things. And then how to use social stories to teach your child new skills and expectations. A social story is just a little tiny story, kind of like you made with your bedtime routine or your breakfast morning routine, or you could just make it into a little book. You know, what am I going to do? What is the problem that we're having? How am I going to solve that problem? You just make it into a little book with 3 or 4 pages and then go over it. So this kind of gives you a guide on how to do that. Okay? Okay, so just a few reminders for the end as we finish up here. Remember, give choices, child choices. They don't have the choice of everything, but child choices. Give positive attention and really show interest. Show them that you're really interested in what they're saying. Look in their eyes. You face them. You know, if you have your back to them, they don't think you're listening. You know, look at them. And show
Don't
them
talk
that
on
you're
the phone
interested.
when you're picking them up.
Yeah, don't talk on the phone when you're picking them up.
Get down
Yeah.
on their level. Get down on their level as often as you can.
Follow a routine. We talked a lot about that today. Set limits and use that. First do this, then you can have that. Use that. Have rules and expectations. We gave you some things in your packet today to help you with that. Keep calm. Keep calm. Acknowledge their feelings and do some problem solving. Thank you, and may your challenges be few. Thank you for coming, and we have some food out in the back.